All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Hashem HaKodesh, and giving double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutation to the elect. Shemiyah Mafis and Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp of Philadelphia, coming with another week lesson. This lesson is just current events. You had it that this morning, I believe, it came out in the news about a 3-month pause on tariffs. Okay, so this was off of, you have CNN, you have Forbes, well, you got CNN, that is. You got Yahoo well, let me see. Pick it on CNN. President Donald Trump announces a complete 3-month pause on all the reciprocal tariffs that went into effect at midnight. Okay. President Donald Trump announced a complete 3-month pause on all reciprocal tariffs that went into effect at midnight, with the exception of China. So the exception is China. With, it says, a stunning reversal from president who insisted historically high tariffs were to stay. And one thing that this really goes to show is Esau Edom, he can't be trusted, and he's playing with the minds of the people. This is also the book of James chapter 1 and 8. It says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And Donald Trump, which is the president of Babylon the Great, is an Edomite. All right, he is gone dipsokos.
Strong's G 1374. Dipsokos. Dipsokos.
Which means to be double-minded and divided in interests. Okay, he has no stability, okay, because in one hand he is choosing, to put America first and come with very, 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 very extreme and extremely high costs that will impact you as a consumer down the line. And then on the other hand, then he's trying to wait and pause these tariffs, which, like I said, he put tariffs not just on China but other nations as well that export their goods into United States and America. All right, so it says, but enormous tariffs will remain on China, the world's second largest economy. In fact, Trump says that they will increase to 125% from 104% after China announced an additional retaliatory tariff against the United States earlier Wednesday. The current date right now is May the 12th, Monday of 2025. Hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and judgment of Esau Edom. It says all other countries that were subjected to reciprocal tariff rates Wednesday will go back to a universal 10% rate. So that's what it is now. I'm just going to go off of, this was posted 4 hours ago off of Bull Boom Bear Bus. I really do enjoy this particular YouTuber financial analyzer, if that's the word. All right. It cover a lot of different things and pertains to economy. Let's just play this real quick. I think it's you call yourself Jay, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, Bulls and Bears, let's talk about this trade deal. Now, I put out a video yesterday, which was Sunday, which was Mother's Day. Happy late Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you didn't watch my last video, we have a trade deal, sort of, as I'm recording this. Now, I'm recording this about 11 p.m. Sunday night, and the news that came out today on Sunday came out right around the time I was putting out my video. So I didn't mention it in my last video, and actually it still may not be worth mentioning, but it is in the news. The reason I say that is because there's no hard numbers or data confirmed yet. We don't know the percentages as far as the tariffs, if they have been dropped and how far they've dropped. We don't know the time frame. We don't know which items or goods are going to be a part of these new numbers. And we're told that we're going to hear something today on Monday. So it could be another case like yesterday where as soon as I put this out, we'll hear something right at or right after I put it out. So things could change by the time you're watching this. Keep in mind, I'm recording this as of 11 p.m. on a Sunday night, which is May 11th, and you're probably watching this on the 12th.
So things most likely have changed, and apparently as of right now, it's saying Trump speaks after U.S. and China agree to a significant tariff reduction. Truce, apparently. But, that's that.
It's late at night, and I didn't put it out until the morning of the 12th, so of course. But let's talk about what we know as I'm recording this. Keep in mind, it could change. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, came out and said trade talks in Geneva over the weekend were productive. Okay, that doesn't mean a trade deal is completed, but we'll find out more news today. He said he would give more details in a complete briefing Monday morning. So that could be right as I'm talking right now, or it could mean more like when you're watching this right now. Bessent added, the president is fully informed about the discussions. So he wasn't there, but he was informed. A trade deal with China without giving specifics. So maybe they'll leave it up to the president to say what the specifics are. We'll see how it's going to be announced. While the details of the deal are still unclear, any de-escalation in the ongoing trade war could bring much-needed relief to a global economy that has been roiled since the announcement of these tariffs a couple months ago. Here's the deal, folks. Here's the big picture. We were told that the higher tariffs were going to be the solution to all the problems as far as manufacturing, and it was going to help bring jobs back to the U.S. So think about this. If the high tariffs were the tool or the mechanism or the weapon to bring jobs back, why would we want to have a trade deal? Or will the trade deal be just a lower tariff, which would still incentivize companies to come back to the U.S.? I'm thinking for anything to actually work as far as a trade deal, it would have to be not an elimination of tariffs, but a lowering of tariffs. All right.
So, Donald Trump is, saying this and that, but his actions are very, very, very divided. Okay, because he's made these different promises of putting America first. Well, when you're have your different various representatives, ambassadors, secretaries, going about and going and vouching for America, but then you cower for these agreements. Are you really bringing American jobs back? Because if you threaten and of course go and boast of we're tired of, as they would say, we're tired of these other countries and pretty much taking advantage of us, and we're gonna get them back. But then you change and give them mercy in this case. Like what really are you doing? That's hypocritical. All right. And that's with America. What you're gonna see is that everything is pretty much wavering and uncertain and doubting. okay? Because even Donald Trump, he don't have stability within his own self to come to these different decisions, okay? These people are not to be trusted. They're double-minded. They're Edomites, okay? They're in their fall, and this is that little season, and they're just trying to do everything they can, to keep their rulership, but their rulership has been numbered. Their days itself has a boundary upon. And this is Job chapter 15 and verse 20. I'm gonna start at 17. It says, Job 15:17. It says, I will show thee, hear me, in that which I have seen I will declare. Okay, and the things in which the prophets have seen, and they have written it in the scriptures as a record, and these are things that have been said before that would come to pass in its prescribed time. It says, which we're living in those prescribed times. It says, which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it, right? And wise men, the prophets and such, have told these things, and these things are out and declared in the open. Matter of fact, the scriptures talk about making a vision plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, as this is written in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Okay, Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision, which are the Chazawan, all right, which are the prophecies, and make them plain make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And while Donald Trump is trying to go back and give different pause and such, hey, prophecies are going to continue to be fulfilled, and hey, your end is here. Okay, it says, this is Job, back to Job chapter 15 and 19. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. And hey, as the scriptures say, that the Lord made the earth for our sakes, all right, for the sake of Israel. Okay, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 6 and 55, and as it reads, and I can read a bit above. It says in verse 54, it says, and after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, right? And you had the Adamites and the people whom thou hast chosen, and among the Adamites you had the chosen, okay, the ones that have been bestowed with the laws, the statutes, and commandments, all right, which are the Israelites, okay, the sons of God, the Israelites, all right. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshai, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Okay? As for the other people which also come of Adam, there are other people that came of Adam, right? The other nations that were within the garden, all right, of Idon or Eden, thou hast, which they had envied, all right, Adam the chosen, all right? And that's what this is all about, Esau would love to be as we have the promise of having the world for all eternity, and he's just with this system, trade deals and all of this, beast system, his technology. He's trying to, live his life forever, as was promised to the Israelites, but his days again are numbered, okay? He would like to be as us, but he's not us, all right? as Kendrick Lamar's song would say, they not like us or something like that. All right. Thou hast says they are nothing, and be like unto spittle, and thou hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Okay, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and devour us. And, as these different trade deals go down and such, and things move forward, we're being devoured because our money, our income is being sucked up. We have to pay for these various goods, and that obviously the various buyers, these different goods, really, we have to pay for that. Okay, down the line, that goes and put down to the consumer overall. Okay, if I'm a businessman and I had to pay X amount of dollars on something, well, I'm gonna get that money back by just paying it for a certain cost, okay, to make that money back. That's capitalism, and that's good investing, right? It says so it says, this is Job 15:20. It says, the wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. The oppressor is Esau, Edom, and his, he don't know, the particular day, just as we don't know the particular day, or Yahweh Shai don't know the particular day, or the angels don't know the particular day, but Yahweh does know the day. And that day is been, of course, hidden from him, but he knows he's in the time because he knows by the prophecies. Okay, it says a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, in the prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Right, and you have it where this man goes to try to establish this NWO. All right, NWO, or New World Order, via having the CHIP and this new financial system run by that social credit system, centered around the CHIP, all right, that implantable, all right, the MOTB, as we do know, all right, and the Lord's gonna come and upset it, okay, upset, his fourth industrial revolution, all right, his technocracy. All right, so it's gonna happen very, very harsh. Okay, as Job 18:11, it says, terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. Okay, you got different dreadful events and calamities that's gonna be happening within these cities that the Lord's gonna bring. All right. So this is verse. And 22, it says, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. Okay, he wandered abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king is ready to the battle. For he stretcheth out his hand against the power, and strengthened him against the Almighty. And you can see how he's doing that, as he's making these different deals. He's boasting. This is the American Golden Age. Okay, it's here. Okay, he's making America great, taking America back. But the Lord is making him fall. Okay. He runneth upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covered his face with his fatness, and make his collapse of fat on his flanks. All right. And you have it with Esau, Edom, with how he's living. You know, he has the fatness. He has the halab, all right, which is the best, okay, of the best, the abundance of the products of the land. These different countries are bringing their products to America, all right, and as you know, he will have it. He has this stuff in grades. You know, you could get the cheapest, you can get mid-range, or you could get the best, okay, and he gets the best of the best. But again, it says, because he's covered his face with his fatness, and maketh collapse of fat on his flanks. Okay. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. All right, and this place is through. All right, this place is ripe for the taking. This is verse 29. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. So the wicked is here on earth. All right, you know, you got people thinking that the wicked, you know, the spiritual, you have it that they think that Satan is not walking about on earth and such. Satan, you have it, is a people too. Okay, he's the enemy and adversary, and that's the Edomites. All right, starting with the elite of them. All right, and this that he have got, you know, the fatness of the earth, and you know, he's have gotten the best, you know, the best, you know, that's being sucked from him and being taken from him. So going on.
And for that, there would have to be negotiations, of course, on both sides to agree what the tariffs are, what products and goods are going to be exempt, or will anything be exempt, right? We don't know at this point. But for it to be what it's been told it's going to be, as far as a toll bringing jobs back to the U.S., it has to be something in that realm. It can't be zero tariffs, otherwise companies would not have any reason to come back to the U.S. All right, so we're going to see how the numbers come out, how the news comes out. Is this fake? We'll have to see. I mean, we've heard a lot of news, and we were given a lot of promises that haven't come to fruition here now, more than 3 months into the new administration, going on 4 months. And, you know, so do you expect anything to change as far as how accurate the information is that we're being told? We were told inflation was going to come down. We were told price levels were going to come down. What did we just see just announced recently? We saw this. Used car prices jump to the highest level since 2023. So inflation, you know, maybe slowing, but prices are still going up. Car prices just jumped. We've got China actually sending jobs to different countries, including we've got Venezuela and a couple others here. And
yeah, so China, they can circumvent things, and you know, I could send, you know, with the BRICS alliance and such, you know. I don't know how to spell Venezuela. And join BRICS. So you had it as of January 28, 2025. Venezuela is part of BRICS. The path to join this association has been cleared. President Venezuela Nicolas Maduro has said. Okay. So, you know, you have it, which is BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa? All right, I believe. Just double check. Yeah, exactly. You know, they have you know, association to improve themselves, you know, economically. You have it with BRICS mission. I'm just gonna say it like that. Which BRICS right, let me see if I could just get BRICS real quick, just straight. So you have it, BRICS, and a government organization composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, to aim to foster economic and geopolitical coordination among which its member, and is somewhat viewed as a counterweight to Western-dominated global institutions. So, you know, you have it with them, you know, United States, you know, being through the beast, you know, system. Okay, they would you know, try to keep, you know, a lot of these different nations down. Well, now they can come up, all right, and they can come up, you know, with the power of like, you have it, these different countries like Russia and such, which they're Edomites too, but you know, they're outside of the beast system, all right. I'm not sure about South Africa, if they're part of NATO. Nah, they're not. So, you know, they're not a part of NATO and such. You know, so, you know, these different BRICS countries, you know, which are not a part of NATO, you know, they are helping these other weaker nations, and they can, of course, come up, and they can circumvent a lot of these different, you know, tariffs and such. If, like, you tariffs on China, I could just send my stuff to Venezuela, then you buy the goods from Venezuela. Well, it's 10%, you know, if that's their current tariff rate, you know. There's other countries that put tariffs on America too, you know. But yeah. So that's just another way to get around things and such. All right, and also work with outside of the American dollar as well. Okay. So going back.
Also, many reports that many other countries are seeing an influx of Chinese manufacturers. Many Chinese factories are moving to different countries, and another big one is Vietnam, due to a combination of factors, including lower labor costs, favorable trade agreements, and the desire to avoid U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods. This trend is fueled by rising labor costs and supply chain disruptions in China. I've got some notes over here, actually, making Vietnam an attractive alternative for manufacturing. So
yeah, so like, all right, well, let's just move shop to another country. All right, and like I said, higher wages, like, again, if these countries came to America, they got to pay these American citizens, which are gonna allegedly be in these countries working, right? You know, that's what Donald Trump wanted. He wanted the Edomites to, you know, go to work, despite the fact that most of these people in America are losing their jobs and don't want to work. All right. You're going to have to pay them higher wages. Okay. You're going to have to pay them, you know, hey, you know, over $60,000 per individual and more and such, you know, especially if they skilled and such. They want to live the American dream, but the American dream is dead. So, you know, hey, this place is through, man. It says this is going down to verse 31. I'm gonna read. It says, I mean, I could read the 30. He shall not depart out of darkness, the flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. You know, we got nuclear destruction prepared for Esau, etc. America. It says, let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. And like I said, this place is vanity. All right, you know, but people trust in the American dream, America being brought back, these different promises from the Edomite. All right, Donald Trump, you know, the cruel Lord. But like I say, his payback is gonna be empty. All right, you're thinking that you're gonna get the riches and become greater, but you're gonna become nothing and worse. All right, and really nothing. You're eliminated. You have your slavery that's to be given as a payback for the sins of America, what America has done to the Israelites. Say render into her double. All right, as in Revelation 8. What's that? Revelation chapter. Is that 17 or 18? 17, I think it is. I'm trying to remember. Might be 30. It's 18. My fault. Yeah, 6. It says, this is pertaining to Babylon, America, which the Edomites have rule over. Reward her, in verse 6, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her as double according to her works, in the cup which she has filled to her double. All right. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, and you live deliciously with these various goods that you get that make you rich. Okay, because these people get this these goods that are manufactured for cheap in these different various factories. Allegedly, you want to be brought back to America. Well, if you want these companies over here, first of all, you're gonna have to get all of those different raw materials, and then you're gonna have to get these different Americans to apparently get these skills to produce those items, okay, that you are creating in these other countries, all right, and create them as fast as you create them and sell them as well, okay. But you're not gonna be able to sell them for them prices, because they would cost too much to produce, okay. You know, it would cost too much to produce in the sense of okay, then if these other nations were to put big, and not deal with you, you won't be able to do that, okay. What if I just entirely just say, no, I don't want to deal with you like China, we don't want to give you these things. Now you can't have them different goods, okay. But again, you still have to train up these different laborers. What is the average? How many average Americans know how to sew and piece together all these different electronics and all? It's not as much as how it is in these other countries, okay, that you're exploiting. It says how much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, where she saith in her heart or in mind, I sit a queen and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. And America goes and boasts as who can really mess with us. Okay, nobody's like unto America. This is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and we are the greatest country on the planet Earth. But this place is through. All right, all these other countries have lived deliciously, with her. And hey, they're gonna lament over the destruction that comes with America. So that's almost the end of the lesson. I'm gonna just go and read the rest of Job, and that's gonna be it. In the spirit, it says in verse 34, Job 15:34, for the congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. Okay, and a lot of course, these other countries have taken different aid packages and such, but they have laid a wound under thee. All right, okay, if you deal with us, we're gonna give you this and that. We promise diplomacy. We might set up a infrastructure system that's avant-garde in your country if you just give us all your goods and partner with us. We might give you guys visas, to be able to come over here, and work over here and such, and become American citizens. All right, you can have a part of our dream. But it says they conceive mischief, the Edomites, the hypocrites, these actors, all right, and bring forth vanity in their belly, their mind, prepared deceit. And it's all been a trick. All right, it's all been a trick, man. That's all Trump is doing. Pauses on tariffs, man. This is just confusion going on, okay? He's saying Mexico and Canada won't face 10% tariffs, Say they feel like they undercut by these countries. They're tired of apparently the different various Mexican cartel and drug dealers entering the country through the borders and such, and we need to punish them, but they won't face tariffs apparently. So this is all confusion. Don't trust nothing this man said. And say that the enemy speaketh sweet in his lips, but imagine, roughly paraphrasing how to overthrow thee. Never trust thine enemy. Shalom to the elect.